Well, hello and welcome back to those of you who have been following the series, either in person or by watching the replays. And a warm welcome to you if this is your first time joining. This is Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers, and I'm William Craig III, a professional career coach. And I have a clear mission for this series to help you move beyond overwhelm and into action. Why? Well, the fact is, people who put out resources with hundreds of AI prompts are well meaning, but too many prompts can actually be paralyzing. So instead, I focused on giving you just one powerful, practical prompt each day, and that turns into a couple sometimes. Our goal? To help you run your job search or your job campaign with clarity, confidence, and strategy, using AI as your assistant, not your replacement. From the very beginning, we've laid the foundation for using AI tools to save you time, uncover hidden opportunities, and improve each and every step of your job search. So today, as always, we're going to be building on that momentum. And if you've missed any of the segments, feel free to visit. I'm going to give you a link to my YouTube page because I think I'm going to switch back to my original platform. LinkedIn, what is this thing? Zoom is not really, it's not really fitting the bill. It's not posting the way it should be posting all of the replays and all that good stuff. And I had no problems with the StreamYard platform. So just a little commercial. Anybody out there who works for Zoom, just letting you know, you're losing business here. Okay, so let's jump in today's session and Patrice, I'll make sure. Yesterday, I got so excited and I got off here and I did not share the um, the prompt link, but we'll make sure that you get that today. And let's see, we don't need that up there. And so you all should be able to see my screen at this point. And let's see if I can get you all back on my screen. Okay. Well, maybe not. That's fine. So here we go. Uh, we are back in our daily AI prompts. And quite honestly, let's see, what I really want to do is I want to take this out and I want to put this into our running prompt. Yeah, so this is going to be, Patrice, this is going to be everything that we've done. And you'll have all of this. So let's go ahead and paste this here. And for today, excuse me. So just a reminder, Mary Mac's resume has already been uploaded and ChatGPT has a wonderful memory. It knows that we're talking about Mary Mac. So today's prompt is create a concise SWOT analysis that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Mary's professional profile based on her resume. Suggest one action for each quadrant for strength, for weakness, for opportunities, threats. Now, what's the value of this? So glad you asked. The value here is that you can look at a targeted approach and see if there are any gaps, any things you need to shore up on as it relates to your profile. So let's see what ChatGPT is going to come up with for us today. Here's a concise SWOT analysis of Mary Mac's profile, professional profile based on her resume, along with one targeted action step per quadrant to help her move forward. All right, strengths. Strengths. Proven success managing high volume accounts receivable, accounts payable, excuse me, $70 million plus aging reports, 17 million plus in annual collections, strong organizational and process management skills, experience across multiple sectors, legal, healthcare, nonprofit, education, familiar with key tools, SAP, NetSuite, QuickBooks, Editor, and Excel. So again, as we've seen before, even when we looked at the transferable skills piece, which we'll actually be looking at again tomorrow in a different way, what this does is it calls out, in this case, the strengths. So many people that I work with are not able to articulate what their strengths are. And uh, this is so important because as you're talking to, whether it's a recruiter or an actual hiring manager, you need to be able to call out what your strengths are. So this is a great exercise to do that. Let's see here. Action. So here's the one action for Mary. Highlight top achievement in a key wins section on her resume and LinkedIn to immediately showcase impact. Now, how do we do that? We do that with our lightning bullets. Certainly in our summary narrative, we're talking about these things, but we have our lightning bullets right as a part of the summary section, but right below the narrative. And this is where we're calling out those key wins that we've had from across our career. So, not just the last few things that you've done, but we're looking across our career and we're pulling out the most impactful, the most important, the most impressive, my three eyes for the day, the accomplishments, achievements from the entire resume. So, okay, we've got strengths and an action. All right, let's look at the weaknesses. No formal project management or financial leadership certifications. So, this is something that's important because I was talking to someone recently and they were saying, but William, I don't have, this degree or that degree. And I'm going, you got to understand, it's a different day. We're living in a different world. A buddy of mine used to be a manager over at Northrop Grumman. And I approached him because I had a lot of IT people that were coming through at the time. And I said, you know, a lot of these people don't have degrees. They've been in the business for, umpteen years. That's a word from my mom's vocabulary, umpteen years, but they don't have degrees. And he said, well, if they've got some current certifications and they've got experience, he said, I'll talk to them. And so I need you to understand that we're in a different world today. Many companies are saying, hey, we get it. You don't necessarily have to have a degree, but you've got to have the skill sets that we need. And how do you prove that? Well, through certifications. So, alrighty. So, one of her weaknesses, no project management and financial leadership certifications. And if you recall, for those of you who have been with us or you've watched the replays, you know that it did suggest, ChatGPT did suggest where Mary could get within, I think it was like 6 weeks' time certifications, a PMP certification. Some roles are short term or contract based, which may raise concerns about stability. And when we're having that conversation in an interview where someone says something like, well, it doesn't seem like you've been anywhere for a long period of time. You know, can you tell me about that? And certainly you don't get defensive, you don't get nervous. You should be prepared for that question if a lot of your roles have been contractual. And as we know, in the contract world, it's feast or famine. You might have a contract that's, you know, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. I had a contract once that was 5 years, but at the end of the day, contracts end. And so you can certainly address that by saying, I'm so happy you brought that up because that's one of the reasons why I'm applying for this role at the XYZ company. As you can see, uh, uh, much of my experience has been in contract roles, and the instability of not knowing where I'm going to be from month to month or year to year, it's just taking a toll. And at this stage in my career, I'm really looking for somewhere that I can hang my hat. And in doing my research on the XYZ company, I see that you're looking for someone that has this skill, that skill, or the other skill. And I bring that to the table. So I hope that you'll consider me as a serious candidate because I'm certainly not looking to uproot in the next 3 to 6 months. I'm looking for a long-term assignment here. So again, don't let that throw you, but just know that there will be some people or maybe some people out there that you'll come across that will see that as a negative. And so you want to be prepared for that. All right, career break may need further reframing for hiring managers. So Mary has a career break, or I should say, when you consider the career break that you have, you want to make sure that you are speaking to the things that you have done during your career break that makes you look like an attractive candidate. So, for example, if you were a caregiver, let's just say that's one of the most common reasons for a career break. You want to speak to right up front. Well, I became a caregiver for a family member, and it was full time. It became full time care. And certainly it was a sacrifice, but hey, it's family. But let me just say that time has come and gone, and I'm ready to move on and move forward with my career at this point. And some of the things that I was doing while I was taking care of that family member was I was taking courses in XYZ. I made sure that I stayed abreast of whatever topic that you are, in this case, accounts receivable, accounts payable, in industry, making sure that I know what the latest trends are, and I'm ready to jump in and hit the ground running, as they say. So the action that is suggested here is enroll in and list the Google Project Management Certificate or similar on her resume and LinkedIn with a note in progress, expected completion date, whatever, whatever. And we've talked about that in the past. So again, this is totally in line with everything that I coach around as a career coach. All right, opportunities. Expanding into operations or project coordination roles in mission driven or growth industries like healthcare, renewable energy, and business services. Now, we know these came up in our last session because Mary in that session was looking for work in the Washington, D.C. area. And these are the three industries that are thriving in the current economy. However, when we talk about expanding into operations or project coordination roles, we know that that stems from Mary's 5-year goals. And again, all of these are things that we covered when we started the session. And then the mission driven or growth industries, specifically mission driven, is because of Mary's values. And again, that's another prompt that we put in to get that. All right, so opportunities, rising demand for AR, AP specialists with systems fluency and remote readiness. So if you know your stuff, you know the various systems that are out there, as well as the jargon. You got to be able to talk the talk. But more than that, she can walk the walk. There is a rising demand for people who can work remotely. And, we used to talk about being able to work independently. But what that equates to today is being able to work remotely. Resume shows clear trajectory for leadership or senior accounting positions. So feather in her cap based on the things that she's done. And again, this is material that we have covered in past sessions. She's ready for that next level up. All right, so the action she can take. Apply to hybrid roles that blend AR and AP with project support or operational analysis and include a personalized note connecting values with company mission. And again, we did this earlier. And so this is the cool thing about what I like to do. I tell you all the time, I geek out on this stuff. But this is the thing, having an understanding of the cycles that employers go through is so very important because again, when we look at something like a chat GPT and it's telling us what Mary's next step should be based on identifying opportunities, these are the things that we've already prepared for. We've already done the work, laid the foundation so that we're able to speak to these things as it relates to how Mary's values connect with the company's mission. So very, very, very important. All righty. And then the last in our SWOT analysis, threats. Competition from candidates with formal certifications or more direct marketing slash project management experience. So again, Mary is going to be working on this because she could go head to head with someone who has the certs already, head to head with someone who already has that project management experience. Now, we learned in a previous session how Mary can speak to the roles that she's been in as it relates to project management, that she's actually been managing projects. They're just of the nature of as it relates to accounts receivable, accounts payable. So next is, oh, here's a big one, potential age bias or assumptions based on career break. So in case you haven't heard me say it, ageism is alive and well in the United States. Don't make any bones about it. It is what it is. And that's why we have to come correct, as the young people say. Okay. Speaking of ageism, see what I did there? Come. Anyway, we've got to have all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed. We have to show the value. We have to show the value right up front, and we have to be able to articulate the value that we bring. We've got to know what that company is looking for, what that role it needs, and it has to be us. And we have to be able to tell them why it's us. Because here we go. Think about it. If you're in an accident, God forbid, and you've got a young doctor and an old doctor, who do you want to operate on you? Right? The young one or the old one? Well, not necessarily either one. You want the one with the most successes, the most wins. If you've got one of them that's lost every patient, well, I don't think I'm going to go with that guy or that gal, right? So you want the winner. And as I've said so many times, in sports, we root for the underdog. But when it comes to work, everybody wants a winner. All righty. And then automation and AI tools reducing entry level ARAP roles. Now, fortunately, Mary's not looking for an entry level role at this stage in her career. She's looking for an advanced role, and certainly she aspires to be a manager. But with regards to the action, it says create a strong positioning statement, just what I'm just saying here. The resume summary plus the LinkedIn about section that reframes experience as strategic, adaptable, and tech forward, not transactional. So again, I love you, ChatGPT. I tell you, I love it. So it says, would you like me to package this into a visual PDF or create a one-page coaching handout you can use with clients in similar transitions? I'm curious to see what that looks like. Yes, create the one page coaching handout. And let's see what that looks like. And let's pop out the chat and see if there's anything that you all need me to address today. All right, it's still thinking. Okay, nothing in the chat so far, other than you want that link that shows all of the previous prompts. I got you. I got you covered. And again, I need to get you that. Let me give you that link to, okay, well, now it's going to start. I'm going to give you the link to the YouTube channel so you can watch the replays if you like. All right, your one-page coaching handout for Mary Mac's career SWOT analysis is ready. You can download it here. All right, so let's see here what we get. And I'm just going to save that there. I can move it later if I need. And so let's take a look. Where is it opening? Looks like it's opening over here, and I will share this with you all. All right, so here we go. Career Transition Coaching Tool, SWOT Analysis for Mary Mac. This one-page SWOT analysis is designed to support Mary Mac as she explores new career directions outside traditional ARAP roles. Use this as a coaching reference to highlight strengths, address gaps, and frame strategic action steps. So we got our strengths, and it gives us the details here, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then the recommended actions. So this is something that I can certainly weave into my work with my clients so that I can address the things that need to be addressed with each of them as relates to these four quadrants: the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And mind you, you can do this with anything that you are attempting to do. Excuse me. I'm going to get rid of that and come back to this. You can do that for anything let's say you were looking to transition into a different role. Again, you can do a SWOT analysis based on your resume and the fact that you're looking to transition from from one thing to another. Great, Jay. Glad that you like this SWOT tool. And again, my idea here is be strategic. For some of you all that are looking to do gig work, you know, we call side hustle gig. Back in the day, what did they call it? Night. What did they call it? It had night in it. Oh my gosh, on the tip of my tongue, as the saying goes. Um, but you know, part-time work, bottom line, okay? Uh, you can use this. Let's say you're thinking about being a DoorDash person, all right, if that's what you want to do, or you want to sell your artwork online. You can create a profile based on your portfolio, your resume, and ask it to do a SWOT analysis. You know, I want to begin selling my artwork online. I want to begin driving for DoorDash or Uber. You know, create a SWOT analysis for me to help me to see exactly how positioned I am. So yes, it is truly amazing, Patrice. And that's the story behind doing this, because again, so many of us, as it relates to uh, the job search, the job campaign, we rush out to go and find the job. And what my goal has been is to, from day one, show you how to better position yourself, first of all, in your own mind, okay? Because mindset is so very important. Position yourself well within your own mind as it relates to who you are and how you want to show up as a professional in the next iteration of your career. But aside from that, then you need to be able then to take that information and articulate it as you are interviewing or as you are putting out information about yourselves. At some point, I'm going to show you all how to use AI to create your own personal web page that highlights your skills in well, I shouldn't say I'm going to. Uh, Put a 5 in the chat if that's something you'd be interested in knowing how to do, to create a web page that is devoted to you, and you can use it to share with potential employers. Another thing that you can add, you've got certainly your email address and your LinkedIn profile address, but you could also add this to your resume, sort of like a portfolio, if you will. Okay, and a couple of folks are saying yes. Okay, absolutely. Would love. Okay, fantastic. So again, um, I've got some good stuff in my mind planned out for you all. Okay, but I want to make sure that we get the basics down, because everything that we've covered so far is really what I call the basics. Everything from uh, creating that mission statement and having that assessment, looking at transferable skills, identifying companies certainly comes down the line, and we've done that. But we want to know um, how we can best represent ourselves as professionals. Okay, I got a question. I would love to know how it would work and if it can be integrated into existing sites for editing. Um, Okay, Michael, come on off mute and share exactly what you mean by that. I want to make sure I'm clear.
Okay, hi. Because on
Okay.
I use Wix to create my websites because it's user
Okay.
friendly. It uses templates and it has its own SEO optimizing. And the
Right.
code is right there. You can just copy and paste it and put it and create a mirror or whatever you want with it.
Gotcha.
If I create something via chat, will it generate a
Hmm.
code so I could just pop it into that existing template or
Great question.
what?
Great question. Excuse me, and the answer is yes. And that's just it. Um, there are several specialties that Chat has, and what we can do is we can use a different version of Chat, and at the end of the day, what we want to make sure is that we get that code, so we can tell Chat to give you the code so that you'll be able to embed the information into your site. So exactly like you're saying, just like Wix gives you code, we can get code from whatever Chat creates for us, and then we can embed whatever it is that we want to embed into your existing site, wherever you'd like to do it. So great question. All right. And you're welcome. And so hang on a minute. Let me just get, because there was something else I wanted to show you all. Uh, so here, yeah, I needed to get, let's get this link, create link, copied, and into the chat is going to go. So this is the very first link for you all that that we did. And here I will, so that's the very first link from our very first session. And then this is from the next session all the way to today. And I'll go ahead. Oh, you're most welcome. And put that in the chat. Here, I'll hold off on posting that. We've got a few more minutes. Nope, we've only got 4.5 minutes. So here's the one for today. Now, oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to give you the YouTube channel address, and I know that by heart. So I'll go ahead and type that in. And give me just a moment. https://www.youtube.com/@ and yeah. So, all righty. Let's just read it to make sure. All righty, great. And so this last link that I just put in the chat, this is where you can actually watch all of the recordings for all of the sessions that we have done so far. All righty. So you've got the two chat prompts, I'm sorry, links to the chat prompts that we've used. The first one from the first session, the second one from sessions 2 through today. And then I just put in the YouTube channel chat because we're live on both LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time when we do these. And unfortunately, like I said, I think I'm going to have to switch back over to the other platform because Zoom has not been posting everything to LinkedIn like it should. If you go there, it says in progress, and that's not right. And so I'll download the videos from YouTube and then upload them to LinkedIn so that they'll be there. But at the same time, they're always going to be on YouTube. It doesn't have any problem, it seems, with posting everything to YouTube. But I think that's because YouTube is actually recording it and saving it itself. But nonetheless, all the behind the scenes stuff. But here, this is the stuff you got to learn, right? If you want to be part of what's going on in the 21st century. And it's not difficult, it's just different. I like that. It's not difficult, it's just different, right? It's new stuff. So certainly there was a little bit of a learning curve, but here we go. That's why you pick a YouTube channel. How do you do such and such? And you watch the YouTube and you pause it and you try it and you play with it. But I think the StreamYard is going to be better. I've got a lot more features there. So for example, when you guys put your comments in, it can float across the screen. I think that's a cool feature. We can play commercials. We can do a lot of different things that and spotlight folks in a different way. So what I'll do is tomorrow is tomorrow's Thursday, day before 4th of July. And so guess who's not going to be here on Friday? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to be here on Friday. But what I will do is tomorrow I will have all of the information ready for you with regards to the new link for next week. And by the way, I'm glad I said that. Next week, next week, next week. For the next 2 weeks, I will be changing. We're not going to be on at 12 noon Eastern. It'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern because I've been invited to go and teach AI stuff and leadership skills at a summer camp for young people. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know, depositing something into the next generation Thank you, Jody. Thank you, all of you, for that. Um, So yeah, ongoing instead of recurring on LinkedIn. But again, uh, I really like the other platform too, I gotta admit. But yeah, so the for the next 2 weeks from the 7th through the, what is that, the 13th? Anyway, for the next 2 weeks, starting Monday, I'll be on at 2 p.m. live Eastern, and you'll be able to catch me. And again, everything will be recorded. All righty. I think that's it for today. And Donna, maybe you should have been my assistant and helped me set this stuff up, huh, from the beginning, so I didn't have to make a flub there. But in any event, thank you again for supporting me as I do my best to support you in your job campaign, because again, it is my goal to help you be successful. So look forward to tomorrow. And again, a lot of moving pieces, but again, we're going to make it work. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Whatever you do, stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.